going to the banks and trying to get a loan for the remodel was very difficult. Not only because of the economy, but I got met with, this is a really silly idea. It's never gonna make it. We can't give you the money. And so in going to 7 different banks, I just absolutely couldn't get the money. And I had already been working with the Small Business Development Center and Barry Kirchhoff, and he said, kid, I'll hang in there with you. As long as you hang in there, I'm with you. And so I called him one day and I said, I have an idea. I'm going to go to some people I know with some money and see if I can get half the money. And he kind of said, okay, that sounds great, Amy. If anybody can do it, you can do it. So I went and visited 5 people I knew, and I said, I need $10,000 from you, and I will give you 7% of my business. And looking back then, I can't believe they all just did it. And they were wonderful about it. They stayed very silent in what we did. And I said, I'll pay you back in 5 years. And so I went back to the bank and I fanned out 5 checks for $10,000. And I said, now give me the other half. And they said, okay. So that was my biggest hurdle, was getting the money to get started. And so having 5 more people on board that were supportive and not intrusive was huge. So I kind of went the Shark Tank route before there was Shark Tank. Yeah. I have learned that you can't expect anybody to do anything you're not willing to do. To be successful, I can't ask somebody to do something I'm not willing to do right beside them or instead of them. Once you establish that relationship with your staff, with your families, with your coworkers, with everybody, it's a team. It's a true team. I've never played captain. I've always had somebody else that's played captain, and I think that's really important. I'm a team player. You have to be willing to do all of it with your staff, and that makes you successful. It makes them respect you as much as you respect them. I didn't know what resources there were for me when I first started this journey. I just started doing a lot of research. 10 years ago, the online research was minimal, and we've come a long way with that. And so the most research I had to start with was childcare, Minnesota Rule 3, and learning that. And can I do this? Doing that research before I just jumped in and said, hey, I'm going to open a childcare center. To really learn what's involved in working with the state of Minnesota. It's different than having an in-home childcare where you're working with Stearns County. We work with the state every day, and it can be scary. And you have to get to the point where you're comfortable with it and say, they're only there to better us, to make sure the kids are safe. And so, to figure that out, can I do that? It was like going back to college to some degree. And then trying to find the financing and moving past that hurdle. During that process is when I found the Small Business Development Center. And I actually had an appointment set with a staff person there. I had gone through SCORE and passed through that, and so I got my appointment. I was so excited, had my 18 binders with me, and so Barry Kirchhoff came out, and he was the executive director, and he said, we're going to have to reschedule. And I was so bummed, and he's like, come talk to me for a little bit. And so he just asked me about my ideas, and Barry has a habit when he's thinking to put his hands behind his head and sit back in his chair, and he started mulling it over a little bit, yep, and all of a sudden he said, I think you're onto something. And I then pulled out my spreadsheets, which I'm crazy for spreadsheets. So they were, spread out over the table. And he says now, quite impressed with how much I had actually put together, because a lot of people come in and say, hey, I have this idea to do this or that. But I had done a lot of research at that point. And he kind of took me on. For me, it's dressy that I have capris on right now. I am in my t-shirts and my leggings every day because I'm working with my kids. I'm on the floor with them. I'm hanging out with the goats with the kids. So for me to jump out of my day and go get all dolled up and go to a meeting like that, poses a big stress on me too. You know, like, so the cliquey part of what you say, I get that too, because I'm not always at my best. I'm not always professional looking because my profession doesn't need that or want that. I think that there should be more groups in general, more entrepreneurial groups. I don't care if you're a man or you're a woman. I don't care if you're an immigrant or a, you know, I don't care. I think that entrepreneurial tendencies in general, for those people to be able to get together and share ideas and not be afraid of each other, that is what I want to see. I want to see people getting together that that takes away the inner competition of everything. You know, that we're there to support each other just in general as small business owners. I would love to be a bigger part of a supportive entrepreneurial group. I think that empowering women to be a bigger part of, to just say what they want to say instead of having to hold back and my time will come. Get out there and roar. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if you're a man or you're a woman. Get out there and roar. You can do it.